Okay, so today we're finally talking about the final Black Ops 2 map, and that is Origins. Now, Origins is a very popular map. Also, probably, I don't know if anyone would agree with this, I think a lot of people do, but it's not necessarily a hard map, but setting up and getting ready to go for like a high round run, it is definitely more kind of complex to do. There's a lot to build, there's a lot to find. Once you are set up, it's very fun, and it's fairly straightforward, but there's a lot of setup involved, but I quite like that. I think Origins was definitely the start of when maps got like more involved than most. Obviously following Origins is Shadows of Evil, and that's also quite involved, and a lot of the Black Ops 3 maps are just more involved. There's a lot to build and find compared to older maps, so Origins was definitely the start of that. There's a lot that was added to the map that was new, a lot that was unique to the map, and a lot that were kind of inspired future maps as well. So we'll go over the main things of the map today. And yeah, same as always, go over the stuff, talk about it, and then kind of leave some thoughts at the end. So let's get to it. So I guess first we'll talk about the main thing of the map, the thing everyone kind of remembers from Origins, and that is the elemental staffs, the wonder weapons, the buildable wonder weapons. And they're all quite unique, they're all very good, and they definitely did start a trend with future zombies maps. So you've got your fire staff, your lightning staff, your wind staff, and then the ice staff, which is what I'm using in the footage. And ironically, it's the only one I remembered how to build. It's fairly straightforward, and to be honest, it's probably one of the better ones you can use if it's fully upgraded, so that's ironic. But yeah, they have a lot of quest steps to get them built, and then there's a following smaller quest to upgrade it. They all do different things, with the ice staff upgraded basically firing like a blizzard at a certain spot and just shredding zombies to go through it. Normal ice staff isn't as good, but the upgraded version is definitely a big step up. And again, I think out of all of the four, it's one of the most popular ones to use at high rounds, and luckily for me, like I said, it's the easiest one to build, so there's that. Yeah, these things did inspire a lot more wonder weapons of the same kind of type in future maps, not even just through Treyarch zombies, but from other studios as well. So the main one probably being the Eisendrache with the bows, elemental bows, all do different things, kind of similar to the staffs. I believe Infinite Warfare zombies had these like crossbows that were all different elements and stuff like that, so it's definitely something that has been copied again and again, which is not an issue. I think it's definitely good to have more like variety with the wonder weapons, so I do like that. Now, one small change that Origins did to pretty much every map before it was how the power worked. So there was no like main power switch, kind of like Mob of the Dead, but what there was 6 individual generators, and they would power on certain parts of the map. Once you've got all 6 up, the pack-a-punch is available, and then throughout the game zombies will go and attack these generators and turn them off. Now that's fine if you're, if the perk that you don't use is in that area, that's fine. If you have the pack-a-punch weapons you want and need for high rounds, that's fine, because you don't really need pack-a-punch again. But if you go down, and let's say the area where Jug is, it's been turned off, going back to get it on again can be quite tedious. So I think most people just kind of leave a zombie and then go turn it back on again. But it's a good system, it keeps you on your toes, especially if you're going to lose perks, lose access to things that you want to use. And weirdly enough, the box is also tied to power on this map, so when the box moves to an area that isn't powered anymore, then you're not able to use it, which is definitely an interesting choice. So there is some additional weapons in this map, and I didn't manage to get them built at all, because I genuinely didn't remember how to do it. I was doing a lot of this kind of run off of memory. But yeah, you've got the G-Strike Beacon, which is kind of like a monkey bomb in a way, and essentially what that does is you throw it down, it attracts zombies, and then the giant robots that walk around the map, and I'll get to that in a minute, kind of shoot at that location, which is pretty cool. And then you've got the 1-inch punch. Now I believe the 1-inch punch is what you get for doing all of the soul boxes around the map. I didn't actually get around to doing that, but it replaces your melee with like a small-ish thunder gun effect. It's pretty cool, it's fun to use, and it's not too difficult to get hold of. Speaking of giant robots, yes, there's 3 giant robots that walk over the map. So certain spots on the map, especially in No Man's Land, which is where I am now, they'll walk over it and they'll kind of block paths. They can kill you if you stand under them. I know one of them has like a step you need for a staff where you have to like shoot its foot and go into it, which is pretty cool. But yeah, they're a big hazard. They can kill zombies as well, I believe. But yeah, in this kind of like small method I was using, they were kind of getting in the way at certain points. I'm not sure if this like train spot is anything that people actually use, but it worked for me for this footage, so I kept using it anyway, other than like the yeah, all the robot feet getting in the way. But wasn't too bad. But not just big robots, there's also a new boss type on this map as well. Of course, talking about the Panza soldier, this is the first appearance of the Panza, and from memory in Black Ops 2, I think it's just as annoying to deal with in that game as it is in Black Ops 3. Now, I will say this, once you've got like the ice staff upgraded, for example, you don't even notice they're there. Like, they die at this point anyway, so quickly. But yeah, they have a lot of tools to try and deal with you. They got flamethrowers, grappling hooks, all that kind of stuff. They did return multiple times across all different maps. They're in the Eisendrache, off the top of my head, I believe they're in Gorod Krovi. I could be wrong about that. I think there's something kind of similar to them. But yeah, very, very menacing enemy to fight. I think they spawn in Revelations as well, because Revelations was kind of like, you know, a mix of everything. So I'm pretty sure they were in Revelations. Now, in terms of perks, there was no new perk kind of added with Origins, but what it did introduce was the Wonder Fizz machine, which is definitely something that has been used time and time again nowadays. Essentially, this machine lets you kind of buy it, and it will give you, well, the original version at least would let you kind of get a random perk from it that you didn't have already. It's in the Black Ops 3 version, it's in the Black Ops 2 version. I believe Origins in Black Ops 2 was the first time it turned up in the game. It's very different now. Nowadays you can kind of go up to it and buy every perk whenever you want, but back then it was completely random. And yeah, just like the box, I believe the Wonder Fizz back then did move around the map, so you couldn't just spam it in the same location like you can now. And also, like you can't do now, with modern day zombies, you can pretty much buy every perk no matter what. Like, you can just buy whatever you want, get all the perks. But with old zombies, yeah, with old zombies you had 4 perks, that was it. So you kind of had to look at it. You can see which one you get, so you kind of have to look at it and go, okay, I've got Jug, Quick Revive, Speed Cola, and this thing's giving me, like, Electric Cherry. Do I want that, or do I want to get something else? Like, you kind of have to strategically pick what you wanted. But, you know, obviously with Black Ops 3 and newer zombies, there's ways around that, but with original Origins, yeah, you have to kind of really think about it. But no, yeah, overall with Origins, I really like the map. I think it's definitely, like I said at the start, a lot more involved than most. I think it's definitely the start of the maps being more kind of complex and having more things to do in them. In terms of the difficulty, I think, yeah, it is tough at first. I definitely think it's one of the harder maps early game. But once you set up, once you've got like an upgraded staff, and these are package weapons and perks, I think it's still definitely tough, but it's a lot more manageable than what it is without that stuff. Also, in terms of like the upgradable wonder weapons and the craftable wonder weapons and stuff like that, it was definitely the start of that, like I said before, and I think it's definitely a good addition. A lot of maps do it now, with wonder weapons being buildable, or you can just get them out of the box. I do definitely like the buildable wonder weapons. It's good to go into a map and kind of like memorize how to do it and get it quickly. It's always fun to do. And yeah, there's definitely a start of that, and I think it's inspired a lot of maps across all different studios that make zombies to make their maps more in-depth. So yeah, that's Origins. Black Ops 2 is now done. We will be moving on to Black Ops 3 with Shadows of Evil next. Thank you for watching. Leave your thoughts on Origins down below in the comments, and as always guys, I'll catch you in the next one.